Hi, I'm Nathaniel, CEO at Pickaxe. Today, I'm going to do a video breakdown of a couple awesome new features that we've recently released. We're going to talk about MCPs in Pickaxe, we're going to talk about the new Pickaxe API, and we're going to talk about the Studio API that allows you to add and remove users and do some other amazing stuff. So first, I want to talk about MCPs. Now, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. And the important thing is not to get caught up in the excitement of some of these new terms. Really, all that MCPs are about is helping make it so that you can connect your pickaxes to other tools more easily so that they can do more amazing, awesome stuff. So in the Pickaxe Builder, you would go over to the Actions area and you'll newly see some MCPs that we have provided for you, the ability to add your own MCP servers, and then the ability to connect pickaxes to do prompt training, which we've already talked about, and all of our awesome community-generated actions. So between all of these different building blocks, you can really make your pickaxes not just behave in a certain way, but also reach out into the world and get information and change things. So first, I just want to show the OpenAI web search MCP, which is one of the ones that we have already built. And as you'll see here, all we need to do is add our OpenAI API key, which I will do now. Okay, now I've connected my API key, I can ask my tool to browse the web. Unlike before with the Google connection that we had before, now it can actually visit pages. So I can say, you know, what is Pickaxe? Tell me about it. And how much it costs, for example. So we can see by the shimmering text that it is using this tool that we've connected. Great, so now we see it's figured out Pickaxe is a no-code platform that allowed users to create, deploy, and monetize AI tools. So this is awesome. And we've got some different pricing tiers as well. So it's gone to all the different pages and figured out all this different information. It even includes a link for us to go and take a look at it ourselves. So this is cool. But now let's talk about potentially connecting an MCP that we don't already provide for you in this Your MCP servers area. Now there's a growing number of services that can provide this, and we're probably going to provide a version of it ourselves. But for now, you could go over to something like Smithery, which will be linked in the video. And you can basically go and find MCPs that they are hosting. And in this case, we're looking at a Notion MCP. So that's super cool. All we have to do is set it up, and there'll be a link here. I've already done it, but there'll be a link to go over to your Notion and get an API key from them. And then you're going to want to take that API key and you'll put it in Smithery. And then Smithery will generate this JSON for you, and all you'll do is copy this JSON and stick it into your MCP server area here and click Add. For this Notion one in particular, you do have to tell it that you want to give it access to your documents, which we did for this demo. So now we've got this connected. We actually do have to still click Connect here. And now this MCP that Pickaxe didn't even build, that's hosted on this other platform, is here. Let's say, now we keep some information in our Notion about pricing. Let's say look through our Notion and find the information on pricing and tell me about what it says there. So this is not an integration that we natively have, but now with these new MCPs, you can just use a service like Smithery as an intermediary, and boom, we're now looking at, we search for pricing information, now we're retrieving content from the page that we keep on pricing, and it's telling us, hey, here's some information, and here's some more information. So this is all coming directly from our Notion, which is super cool. And I think you can even add information with this MCP, but the cool thing about these MCPs is that you can add information, you can get information, you can change things. They really do have a lot of control in these environments that you connect. So with that being said, let's talk now about the Pickaxe API itself. Okay, so now let's talk about the Pickaxe API that allows you to use a pickaxe from another service. This is super cool. This is currently only available to pro users. So we take a look here and we see, hey, we're in a pickaxe and we can create a deployment. This is a pickaxe that we use to respond to emails from customers. We use this to just draft responses because we're trying to understand how our own tools work a bit better. And so, we already have this connected to an email service called Front, but I'll show you a little bit about connecting it to a new service. So if you're pro, you'll see API here and you can click it and it will create a new type of deployment. Unlike a embed, it's going to be an API. So we can name this one and I'll call it demo deployment. It's always good to give things names so that we can remember what's going on. And we have some instructions here on how to do this integration. And there's some more instructions down here on exactly what the rules are for this. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this in make. And so I'm going to make a new make scenario, and we'll talk about, hey, here we've got our HTTP connector, right? And so we're going to use this to ask the pickaxe something, right? So in this case, if we take a look, we've got it's a chat-based pickaxe, and so it's a post request we can see here, and this is the link. So let's copy this link over to make. We'll put the URL in here. We'll change this over to post. Great. Now if we look over here, we've actually got this header that we have to put in, so that's important. Let's do that. Let's see, header, add a header. The name, I guess, is authorization. Great. And the content of the header is this bearer deployment, then this code here. So this is great. Now we've got one parameter, message, and the message is, how can I help you? Okay, interesting. Well, let's take a look. So for the body, we'll call it I think we'll call it a raw body, and the content type will be JSON. Great. And for the content, we'll start by copy and pasting this JSON here, which is just this little, message hello. But instead, I'll put a message in like, what's a question that we get? Maybe, I'm wondering how to monetize my AI. How can I do that? Okay, so that's a question that this user is asking. And this parse response thing, I guess, why don't we just have it automatically parse the response? We'll see if that works. In this case, we're hard coding what this message is, but within make, you can, it looks like, you can add these variables to make it so it'll be different. But in this case, we're hard coding it. And why don't we see if we can try running it? Okay. I clicked run. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, cool. I asked, I'm wondering how to monetize my AI. How can I do that? And if we look at the response, we can see here's a nice response from Pickaxe. Monetizing your AI tool on Pickaxe can be done effectively through our monetization features. So this is great. So this is just an example of, it's pretty straightforward. You take the different pieces of the API here, you can put them into make, and boom, you can use your pickaxes within other integration platforms, within other integration flows. Now, soon we're going to have, by the end of the summer, we're going to have a native make integration. So instead of using HTTP, you'll just click Pickaxe and it'll be right here. We're in talks with Make about that now. And we will have an MCP as well as an API deployment so that you can kind of just plug it in once and then it'll just work for everything. But for the time being, that is how you do the use of the Pickaxe API. Now, the last thing we should talk about today is going to be, and let's just get rid of this, we'll go back, is going to be the Studio API. Okay, and this is the newest thing that we've just put out. And what it allows you to do is a couple of things. One, if you have documents in your Studio, you can add, remove, adjust them all through the API. If you have users and you want to, say, add users automatically or delete users automatically, maybe you have an external service to Pickaxe. You're using our Studio, but you want to have it create users from a third-party service and delete users from a third-party service. Well, that's pretty easy to do now that we have this API. Now, this API is also only available to pro users. And then finally, the final important thing is you can also create and adjust memories for your users within the API as well. So you can do all of these awesome things. The demo that I'm just going to show for the purposes of this will be inviting a user to a Studio as a user. But the other applications will be very similar. Okay, so actually it's going to be very similar to what we just did. I'm going to go and take a look at this, and okay, I've got this stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and create an API key, and I'll call this my make API key because I'm going to use it in this make demo here, and I'll copy it. But this is basically the structure that we want to see. So it's a post request. This is the link. So we're going to we can go in here and just edit what we had done before. We now set up with this different link. We keep it as a post request. We have this authorization bearer, your API token, right? So that's good. Let's put this in here. So we've got authorization. And instead of what we had in here before, now we'll just put this token, which we're going to copy. Oops, copy and paste in there. Beautiful. And now we've got a bunch of different parameters. Now, actually, email is the only one that's required for this. And for most of these, email is the only one that's required. So we can ignore some of this, but for the data, instead of what we'd put before, we'll put email, and I'll just put one of my emails, which is Nathaniel HLD. Well, I'll put my Pickaxe email, Nathaniel at Pickaxe project.com. Okay, so cool. So with any luck, now it's going to invite me to this Studio. So let's hope that works out by testing it. And this is great because now I can automatically invite people to my Studio. Let me just make sure I did the right one. I'm actually thinking that I'd use the user create, but actually, so this is going to create a user, but it's not going to tell me what's going on actually. So actually I want to use the user invite because that's actually going to tell me, that's going to send me an email saying, hey, you were added to the Studio. So minor difference there, but can be helpful because in this case I just want to show you guys that I received the email. So we'll run this. Okay, that was really fast. Wow. Let's look. Okay. I see. Okay. I messed it up. And it looks like I needed a list of emails for this one, actually, potentially. So that's my bad, but let me just quickly fix it because it's an easy fix. We go in here, and instead of email, we put emails, and we just add a little box around this so that it thinks it's a list. Okay, now we click run. Okay, cool. If you see 200 here, it means it worked. And why don't we test if it did work? Boom. We've got Pickaxe HQ invitation. We just got automatically, and we can join the Studio. So this is super cool. So in this video, we've talked about connecting MCPs to Pickaxe. We've talked about using the Pickaxe API in Make to call on Pickaxes to do things. And we've talked a little bit about using the awesome new Studio API to control things in your studio, to invite users automatically if you're using some third-party service. And we can also, in very much the same way, I could also delete my user here. So hopefully this has been helpful. Soon, next steps, we're going to be coming out with an MCP for all this, and generally we're actually going to make it a Pickaxe MCP, so you can use a Pickaxe to automatically handle some of this stuff, because for some folks this might be a little bit more technical than they want to get into. And the goal is we're going to kind of consolidate this down so that you guys can just be adding and removing stuff and just making the system really work for you in a way that's going to be super exciting.